Hello everyone and welcome to RadioCSIRT English Edition, your daily appointment with cybersecurity news. I'm Marc Frederic Gomez, your French cybersecurity voice for today's threat landscape. I hope you're doing well. We are Saturday, January 31st, 2026, episode 69. This week has been marked by sustained activity on the critical vulnerability front, featuring massive additions to the CISA KEV catalog, multiple emergency patches, and significant revelations regarding persistent threats and operational security incidents. The week opens with Oracle publishing its quarterly critical patch update for January 2026. CVE-2026-21962 affects Oracle HTTP Server, WebLogic Server Proxy plugin, and Fusion middleware, allowing unauthorized remote access. A critical point to note: a proof of concept was published the very day after disclosure, drastically shrinking the remediation window for organizations. CISA made multiple additions to the known exploited vulnerabilities catalog throughout the week. On January 23rd, CVE-2024-37079 was added following evidence of active exploitation. This out-of-bounds write flaw in Broadcom VMware vCenter server carries a CVSS score of 9.8. It allows remote code execution via specially crafted DCER PC packets. Vulncheck confirms active exploitation by 3 Chinese APT groups identified as FireAnt, Warp Panda, and UNC 3886. US federal agencies have until February 13, 2026 to deploy the patch initially released by Broadcom in June 2024. On January 26th, CISA released a major update with 5 new KEV entries. CVE-2026-21509 is a security feature bypass 0-day affecting the Microsoft Office suite. Microsoft has issued an advisory indicating active exploitation in the wild. This vulnerability is accompanied by flaws affecting Smarter Tools, Smarter Mail, GNU Inet Utils, and the Linux kernel. Regarding the GNU Inet Utils vulnerability, CVE-2026-24061 is a critical 11-year-old flaw affecting the Telnet D server, versions 1.9.3 through 2.7. This flaw allows an authentication bypass granting root access by setting the user argument to -f root. Grey Noise has detected active exploitation since January 21st from 18 IP addresses, while Shadow Server reports nearly 800,000 exposed Telnet servers globally. The fix is available in GNU Inet Utils version 2.8. On January 27th, CISA added CVE-2026-24858 to the KEV catalog. This authentication bypass vulnerability affects multiple Fortinet products, including FortiAnalyzer and FortiManager. It allows an attacker with a FortiCloud account to connect to devices registered on other accounts when SSO is enabled. By January 29th, the catalog received yet another update, imposing immediate correction obligations for federal agencies. ISC published a bulletin for CVE-2025-13878 affecting Bind 9. Malformed records can cause the named daemon to crash, creating a denial of service condition for critical DNS infrastructures. PatchStack disclosed a blind SQL injection in the WordPress plugin Nelio Content. With a CVSS score of 8.8 high, the flaw allows an authenticated attacker with low privileges to compromise the entire database. Meanwhile, over 6,000 Smarter Mail servers worldwide remain exposed to critical remote code execution vulnerabilities, which are currently being exploited. Compromising these corporate mail servers could provide access to sensitive communications and serve as a lateral entry point into networks. SolarWinds issued a security advisory regarding 6 vulnerabilities in Web Help Desk, 4 of which are critical. These allow for unauthenticated remote code execution via data deserialization. Updating to Web Help Desk 2026.1 fixes these issues. A wave of critical patches also hit cryptographic infrastructure. CertFar issued advisories regarding OpenSSL, where flaws allow arbitrary code execution. Similar alerts were issued for HPE Aruba Networking and Tenable Network Monitor. Microsoft released 2 out-of-band emergency updates in a single week. On January 24th, update KB 5078127 was released to fix Outlook Classic crashes. The previous Patch Tuesday update had caused freezes for POP profiles and PST files stored on OneDrive and Dropbox. Fortinet FortiGuard Labs is documenting a multi-stage phishing campaign targeting Russia. Utilizing the Amnesia RAT and ransomware, the infrastructure abuses GitHub for scripts and Dropbox for binary payloads. ESET revealed DynoWiper, a new wiper malware used by Sandworm in an attempted attack against the Polish energy sector on December 29th and 30th, 2025. The attack targeted heat and power plants but failed. This coincides with the 10th anniversary of the historic 2015 cyber attack on the Ukrainian power grid. Symantec and Carbon Black identified Osiris, a new ransomware deployed against a food service operator in Southeast Asia. It uses the bring your own vulnerable driver technique to neutralize security solutions. The Kimwolf botnet has infected over 2 million IoT devices. Infoblox reveals that 25% of its corporate clients have queried Kimwolf domains. Interestingly, Kimwolf operators claim to have compromised the control panel of Badbox 2.0, a vast Chinese-based botnet. This potential consolidation of malicious infrastructure is concerning. Additionally, a new malware as a service called Stanley is offering malicious Chrome extensions that are guaranteed to be published on the official Chrome Web Store, lowering the barrier to entry for cybercriminals. France is deploying its sovereign video conferencing platform, Visio, across all government services by 2027. Replacing Microsoft Teams and Zoom, the platform is hosted on the sovereign cloud infrastructure, Outscale. In Ireland, the proposed Communications Interception and Lawful Access Bill would replace 1993 legislation authorizing the interception of all communications, including encrypted messaging, without specifying the technical methods. The Irish Council for Civil Liberties has expressed serious concerns about the normalization of these exceptional measures. Ars Technica reveals a major incident where the acting director of CISA unintentionally exfiltrated classified documents by using a standard instance of ChatGPT, raising urgent questions about shadow AI in government. Furthermore, reports indicate that Microsoft stores BitLocker encryption keys without protection on its servers and transmits them to the FBI upon legal request. Experts note that unlike Apple or Google, Microsoft does not encrypt recovery keys on the client side, effectively nullifying disk encryption protection. On a positive technical note, the Linux Journal detailed the Linux kernel runtime guard, a new protection layer monitoring kernel integrity in real time. Finally, regarding employment trends, a Stanford study reveals a 20% drop in junior software engineer roles in the US between 2022 and 2025. Industry leaders emphasize that while AI accelerates access to information, it does not provide strategy. The key skills for the future are critical thinking, curiosity, and the ability to constantly unlearn. Oh, and that's it. This episode comes to an end. I hope it provided you with clear and useful information. Until then, we don't think, we patch. If you are a new listener, feel free to subscribe to the RadioCSIRT podcast. The podcast is available in English, French,
Italian,
and Spanish on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, Deezer, and Spotify. All open source intelligence links used in this episode are available on the website RadioC-SIRT.com. See you next week for a new episode. Take care. Goodbye.